What's up, people? Welcome back to another Fractured Daydream video. This time I'm going to talk about some of the thoughts and suggestions that the devs could really make this game better in general. Now, why? Because I'm seeing a lot of, comments and etc. as usual, just like the last game. Now, people never played the last recollection. Let me tell you guys the whole story. But before I start that, I'm just gonna show some gameplay in the background. So just a normal run, not too much. People will be probably ask like, well, do you show gameplays or do you show some builds? The thing is, most of the stuff I just use whatever I have. Not necessary. I mean, I can suggest what you guys want, can get just to, if you just care to hit like, higher DPS and stuff. But I still don't have it. A lot of stuff for like mostly I have, but there's just I don't have those sphere that with a level 5 stuff on it. I don't know. When it comes to farming and RNG wise, I don't get a lot of stuff in general. If you know my track record from AL and LR, I don't really get a lot of stuff unless I really, really farm for hours, hundreds hours, thousands hours to get that stuff. So yeah, it's not like it's not horrible, but on the other hand, it is kind of horrible to get something that you can't get, and it's taking a really long time. So, nonetheless, I mean, like I say, regardless, if you want to hit the higher DPS, just get a level 5, put on everything, and then you'll be fine. And other than that, just some specific play style, etc. But that's about it. Like I say, you really just want to, utilize the spheres and on some of the legendary weapons or purple weapons if you want to. But nonetheless, I do have the stuff that I use for the end. It's not super hard to deal damage. It depends on what kind of bosses. So eventually I'll show some gameplay, but I'm not saying like I'm just gonna show gameplay on only on you get the highest DPS runs or etc. So this is also depends on RNGs, where if you can get a good team or if you play with a bunch of people that aren't or doing anything. So it depends. So it's all about whoever's contribute. Not necessarily mean every match is you're gonna be hitting like extremely high DPS. So that's pretty much it. Now let's get back to the topic. So what happened in that like last recollection for people never played it? Now they did the same thing as like they dropped the game early in a year or so. When like in 2 years actually. But they were trying to wrap up the game versus story, but they left us with almost nothing to do in the game. Even though LR has a little bit more of stuff to do, but still not a whole lot. Like I say, the art of the end game, which it matters in SAO games. Now the thing is, without end game for SAOs, you're most likely not gonna do much in the game itself because there's nothing to farm for, there's nothing to fight for, really. Like if you were to tell somebody just to go in the game here, just get everybody to level 100, all the characters level 100, with 5 maps. 6 maps, 5 bosses. Yeah, most people aren't gonna do that. You know why? Because that's not a lot of stuff for them to do just to grind characters up there. For what? For what? So I get some people say the game is still early, like a month or two. They're gonna add stuff. Yeah, but they also don't need to wait for months to add stuff, because this game is heavily on multiplayers. So now when I've seen these comments, people like complain about stuff. They're actually telling the facts. They're not necessarily trashing the game. Now the more people complain about the game is because they want the developers to hear it. You know why? It is important. This is a multiplayer game. You need player base. The Japanese are furious with the game. There's a lot of player base. They're gone. They're not even interested and play the game. So the less people you have, the worse it gets. Now, if people say, "Oh yeah, just go Asia server, you'll find people," no, I've been on Asia server every time I'm coming back from work. These lobbies, tier 3 bosses, they're slowly disappearing. Now you will get full lobby, but it takes much longer compared to what it used to be, where you just can get in, immediately start. Now, like if you go on the lower like tier 1, tier 2 stuff, or even the beginning of tier 3, you're gonna be playing with bots. Like there was matches where me and my other friends, we were trying to just go play for fun. There was nobody. There was nobody playing. Like we couldn't even get the match start, so we had to we went back to tier 3. So this is very serious problem. Some people will be like, yeah, let's just wait it out. We did that for Lost Recollection. We waited for like maybe 6 to 9 months for them to add something, and they did not. Even the DLC was literally nothing. And then that's it. They finished the game, and we were like, "Is that all? Is that all we gonna get? Is that all we gonna get from the game? Like, what happened to the SAOs where like they give us like great DLCs and game contents, etc." Well, that's what happened, because people were waited and waited and waited. Nothing happened because like it's not about it's not about people complaining about stuff. They're complaining because they want to make the game better, not worse. This is not the type of complaint people. It's different than trashing the game. That's a different type of complaint. Like people want more stuff to do in general. Because this is a $60 game. It's not a gacha. You make people to wait for it and do this and that. If that's the case, they could have just put the game like a year later when they have more maps and more stuff to that's already in the game. But I don't think they were that they weren't prepared for this kind of situation. Like they weren't thinking like, oh, what, like we're gonna give these player base just these maps and then they'll grind this and that. They don't have problem with it. No, people fly through these stuff and they finish everything quick. So for a multiplayer game base, you gotta have more maps, devs. You gotta add more maps, add more modes. That's another suggestion. Add some different modes, for players. That's like 1 through 4 players or 4 through 10 players. They don't have to add 20 players map on every single mode. Like, come on. Not everybody wants to play 20 players in every single matches. Bring all the FB maps back. Put it like 4 players. People can do it. They don't need 20 players to do it. Give us different mode. Give us like more purpose, like just not, having the same thing and not think outside of the box. It's okay to give us some solo stuff to do. It's okay to give us 2 players, 4 players, 10 players, whatever. That's less than 20 because these 20 players base, even in Asia now, it's filling it with bots. And they're not even, this is Asia server, guys. This is not even NA or EU. It'll be a lot less than that. So, yeah, like I say, they can wait it out, but do you really want to wait for a year or 2 for this game to complete, then you come back and play it? Like, a lot of people probably wouldn't even play it by that time, I'm not gonna lie, because everybody was waiting for Lost Recollection to do something. And then they never happened. They never had anything. They never did anything. So it is good to be concerned about the game itself. Like people complain about, don't take it as like, oh my god, you guys complain the game so much, because we want the devs to hear it. This is a really bad situation. Look, there are only 15 to 16% of Steam players left. That's like regularly or less. So majority of the player base is gone. It is gone. It's not even a joke. Like people who left are playing. I mean, I get on playing here and there. It's because I want to farm stuff and then I play with my friends and stuff. Other than that, yeah, you're not gonna see insane amount of people play unless there's update or anything that are coming back. Well, like new characters or new maps or whatever, people will come back and play it, and then they'll leave again. That's how it's gonna be for the game if they keep it up like this. If they want people to wait it out for a long time, so that's gonna be the problem. But anyway, that's all I want to say. Hope you guys enjoy it, and till next time.